In the last 81 days, I've booked 460 meetings for one of the info products that I'm a co-founder in. And we only spent $4,534 on ads. And that's because we understand this simple truth that most coaches miss. And that is people buy coaches, not coaching. And it's basically what I'll be talking about today. Because if you as a coach can get people to buy into you, you have no competition. And if you want to see more of my philosophies and step-by-step breakdowns, you can either go to my YouTube channel here or you can go to my Instagram, which is linked below. But let's just get into the video. So first of all, you need to understand that trust is at an all-time low. Everyone is basically using the same funnels and making the same offers and saying the same thing. So people are overwhelmed and skeptical with a good reason. And now you're probably here like, what does that have to do with me? And I will explain that in a minute, because if you can do this one thing, you have a crazy advantage. So you need to leverage trust. You need to get people to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. Because as I just talked about, people get the same offers and they're skeptical and overwhelmed. So they don't trust people when they get on the meetings. So the first principle is changing from a static funnel to a dynamic funnel. And what do I mean with that? So first here, I've drawn a VSL customer journey. And here, so people come in from the ad, they see the VSL here, VSL, and then if they're not ready to buy, they just leave. And the only thing they can do is book a meeting or leave, which I don't really think is a good idea, because you leave people with no choice and you really don't have them. You have them on a cold newsletter, right? Whereas here on the dynamic flywheel, we get people in from Instagram to follow us. My setter reaches out to people and finds where they are in the customer journey, because 3% of the followers are ready to buy and the other 97% needs to be nurtured. So I just draw 3 approaches. So for example, let's say the 3 different approaches is a meeting, a lead magnet, or YouTube nurturing. This person who comes in from the ad might not need to see YouTube, they might not need a lead magnet, they're just ready to get on a meeting and hear how we can help them. And then we just make the right approach instead of telling them to go to YouTube when that's not the right fit. So, we can nurture each prospect in their state of the customer journey, if it makes sense. And that's why I like the dynamic flywheel much more, because we nurture people and make it a lot more personalized. Remember, because people buy into you as a coach and not just a cold VSL in a newsletter that is evergreen. So people feel that they are being treated as unique, and that's very good. So basically the whole strategy behind this is run ads on a daily budget of $30 to $50 a day, which is with the only intention of getting followers. And when people follow, our setter reaches out and asks, hey, noticed you followed, mind if I ask what caught your interest? And then the nurturing process begins. So either it's YouTube, it's assets, or it's qualifying, just like I explained up here. And then they got on a call at some point, from YouTube maybe, or from the asset, and then the money is made. So this is basically how we change from a static funnel to a dynamic flywheel. And when we did this, one of the info products that I'm a co-founder in went from 10K a month to 40K a month. So my philosophy is built around believing that this system is going to take me to 100K as well. And that's why I'm teaching you right now. So you must understand that a follower for us costs around $3, and we make on average $60.57 per follower. So instead of paying $10, $20 for a cold newsletter lead, we can now have people on our Instagram profile where we are always top of mind with stories, posts, and just DMs, right? So we have 3 different locations where we can just push your content in, and we get leads for 3 times less. So the flywheel is basically, people come into Instagram, we DM them here, we send them to YouTube where they can see some stuff, and then from YouTube they're sent back into the DMs. And if they're not ready to book a call, we just send them back to YouTube, qualify them even more, and as you can see here in between, they spend time with you. So the more time they spend with you before the call, the more qualified they are. So it's basically just a flywheel, and at some point in between 90 days to 2 years, they will essentially book in a meeting and buy, right? So the flywheel here is what we've implemented instead of just running a VSL ad. And as I just said, we run from a very complex funnel where we had to tweak things all the time. Like, what color is this button? It's like, what the fuck? Why would I even care about that now? I just need to make sure our setter has enough followers, and the approach is very simple. Like, the only bottleneck for this is basically if the setter is not getting enough followers or booking enough meetings, right? So that's also why we went from 10K to 40K a month. And as you can see, the road is much more simple. And it's used by 4 apps, literally just 4 apps, and you can build a 40K a month info product. First, Instagram for attention, then Calendly for booking in the calls, because you can qualify people and all that kind of stuff there. We use YouTube for trust, and then we use this little guy, Puppy.ai to script everything. It's a quite new app, but it's where you just prompt an AI chat like ChatGPT with videos, PDFs, notes, and that stuff. And then it's basically creating like a whole prompt around you as a person and what you've achieved. So when we're scripting 30 reels, it takes us 2 to 3 hours instead of 20 hours. I also made a video here on the channel where I talk more in depth about how we use the apps precisely. So you can hop in and check that as well. But yeah, this is basically the whole idea of people buying into you instead of your offer. Because when people buy into you, you will see higher close rates, low refund rates, and then just more happy customers because you get friends, not buyers. So if you like this video, you can hop in on my Instagram, which is linked below, and drop me a follow, where I'll also share more strategies and raw results. And you can also subscribe here on YouTube, where I'll be showing more breakdowns and overall just giving out as much value as possible. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you at some point.